Hey, what is going on, Brick Squad? Welcome back to another episode of Building Anaxes in LEGO. This week we have week number 19. We are almost at that 20-week mark, and I am very happy to show you the progress that we got done today. Now, brief disclaimer before the video starts. As you guys know, we did miss a segment last week, and to the naked eye, it's not going to look like we got a lot of stuff done, but I do tell you that there was a lot of trial and error, a lot of kind of thinking about what's going where, so there's a good amount of work and a good amount of thought going into what we have done to show you guys today. But before we go and get started, make sure you support our two series sponsors here. Number one, Brick Stuff. At this point in the series, you guys should know the drill. If you're looking for custom lights to put in your mocks or sets or anything else LEGO related, check out brickstuff.com, link down below, and use coupon code TBW10, that's capital T, capital B, capital W, 10 during your checkout to save 10% off. And of course, go ahead and support our second series sponsor, Minifigs For You. Once again, you all know the drill. They've supplied the Bad Batch squad of minifigures and a couple more minifigures coming out later, so make sure you guys go support both of our sponsors down below in the description. So if you guys remember, like a month back, I was in this super motivated mode. I kept doing progress after progress, and I gotta be completely honest, it's kind of died down quite a bit. I think it's gonna come back up and resurface after school's over, but honestly been in kind of like a deep lull with Anaxes progress, so that's kind of why nothing insane is done this week, but there's still a lot of progress. Now this week we worked on the left side of the fort, that meaning the side with the two barracks, the satellite dish, and the shield generator. Now if you guys have been remembering and watching the segments, you'll know that in between each of the buildings there was empty space. There was nothing in between it. There was no sidewalks, no pathways, nothing was tiled off, and that's kind of what we got done this week. It was one of those things where I have been dreading doing it because it's annoying, because I have to take everything off. I have to really think about it. I have to do some like mathematical equations and think about what's going where, and I kind of wanted to avoid it for the longest time, but this week I just got to it. I wanted to get it out of the way so that way we can keep going towards more progress. So we did end up getting the entire side of it kind of completely tiled off, so literally you take a picture of that left side back there and it's done completely. So that's kind of cool. I'm very excited to show you all of that today. Also, really quickly, I know a lot of you guys click off the video in like 2 or 3 minutes, so very important information. I am no longer aiming for a December 25th release. I think it'd just be really smart to have this finale or the cinematic go up around the time when the Clone Wars season comes out on Disney Plus. So that being said, I will be most likely doing everything I can to space out the series and keep it going until early February when the series launches on Disney Plus. That being said, I do think we're going to have a lot of stuff to do up until then. That's about 2 more months or 3 more months of hard work, and of course I will be mixing in a couple other videos and a lot of awesome content coming this winter break. So we're going to find a good way to fill in content and fill in that void, but I am going to be kind of aiming for a January or February release, again closer to when the Clone Wars Season 7 does release on Disney Plus. So with all that out of the way, guys, make sure you drop a like down below, and if you guys haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. I think you're going to want to stay tuned for all the videos they got coming out. We got some more awesome content coming in a couple of weeks, but without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into Building Anaxes week 19. Alrighty, so with every week, you know the drill. We start off with this overhead shot, and to the naked eye, like I said before in the intro to today's segment there, it looks like there's nothing too much done, but we are going to be talking about a basically 100% complete left side of the base. Now, of course, we have the gunships and the ATT and all that stuff. I showcased this in the last segment. I'll leave a link down below if you guys didn't check that out. But this whole platform has lights and cool gunships and stuff, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But this week, a lot of the progress remained in the sections between the barracks and between all the buildings. So I'm going to try and get like the best angle to show you guys what we actually got done. So if you remember, ever since we've had these buildings done, there has been empty space in between all of them. There was just empty space. You could see the gray base plates and the filler, which was ugly and very discouraging. But this week I did decide to buckle down, man up, and actually get through some of the really boring nitty-gritty stuff of the mock. So you can see we worked on a couple of things. We worked on designing a pathway between the barracks, which I will give you guys a full rundown in just a second. We also did work on the areas surrounding the satellite array station as well as the shield generator. So basically all the areas in between these buildings have walkways now. So in terms of like I guess a practical use for the minifigures and the mock, you could walk in between all the structures, which is really nice. Honestly, would be very discouraging seeing all these beautiful buildings and structures and just seeing like ugly filler in between. So I definitely wanted to buckle down and actually get a lot of stuff done here on the sides. But I'm going to go ahead and actually swing around to the other side of the mock and then show you guys a little bit of a closer view as to what everything looks like and kind of how I designed it. So before I go ahead and swing to the other side, I do want to let you know and kind of give you a better look. Now, the only section that still has to be figured out is this area right here in between the barracks. This really shouldn't take too long, but I did kind of run out of ideas. I want to make this area like a little bit special, although I guess it really doesn't matter because no one's really seeing this section. But I want to start off this part of the video by showing you this back area. If you remember, there's a 1x1 brick. I apologize about that. Now, if you remember in the segments, there was nothing back here. There was literally just empty space, and I had the barracks standing on like 2x2 pillars. So this was super cool to get done. I did end up just lining a single row, or I guess a single column of 1x4 plates just to give it a little bit of a different texture compared to the plates and the tiles. But this was a pretty simple but also a very effective design of just kind of filling out this entire space behind the barracks. Now, of course, it's not really noticeable. If you see the mock, you're not really going to be looking at it from this area, but for my own mind and for my own, I guess, willing, I did want to get this area done. So that's kind of the first thing we got done. This is probably the most simple thing we got done this week. Now, moving to the area in between the barracks here, you can see we have a little bit of a walkway. I'm trying to give you the best angle here to show you guys. So a couple of really cool parts. What's really cool is that a lot of these parts you guys see were actually used from the UCS Falcon. If you guys remember when I built Kessel, I did the Kessel Falcon and I had a lot of extra parts, and I wanted to use the extra parts and utilize them on an axis. So the pieces that are used are some 2x2 tiles. We have some 4x6 modified plates. These again are really popular on the Falcon. On either sides we have the 1x2 dark bluish gray tile. That's just to give it a nice little texture and give it some different color. And then on the very sides of the walkways we have the 1x8 modified plates that are, I don't even know what they're called, but you guys can see them. They are really, really cool, and I think they give a super cool effect. It really looks like a pathway, like a walkway, which I did really like. So that's kind of what we got done for both sides. Now I did want to replicate this again, obviously, because there are two barracks, so I did include the second one right there. So this is nice. Of course, when the mock is done during the finale, we'll have like little patrols and stuff like that kind of going throughout the entire areas. Of course, you can see I do have some phase 2 clones just kind of marching up and down and just doing their rounds, patrolling the barracks, keeping everybody safe. So I thought that was really cool. And then towards the end, or I guess towards the front of the walkway, I did make like little steps. So of course the minifigures can go from walking on the road really quickly and transitioning to the sidewalk, which I thought was super cool. So I do really like this design. It's really simple, but for some reason I really do like it. So let me know what you think of this like specific design down below in the comments. And like I said before, I did do the same exact thing for the other barrack, so this should come to no surprise. So if we continue on to the other side right here, you can see we, again, like I said, I do have that it's the same exact design for both sides of the barracks, which I thought was important to just have it be uniform. But now moving to the satellite station, if you guys remember, there was no tile, there was no plating around it, and I did utilize a lot of the 6x6 tile, which I did have. I was very fortunate to have these. I think I got these 6x6 tile last year at Brick Fair, Virginia, from Blaine's World. So again, Blaine always just constantly hooking up with the great deals. I did of course utilize some more of those 4x6 modified plates and stuff like that, but I did surround the entire station and the entire platform with tiles. So of course all the minifigures can walk around it, which is super cool. And I do think the overall aesthetic, having this thing tiled off and having the entire area be done is definitely really cool to have for the final mock. And then the last section here, we do have that shield generator again. We did end up tiling the rest. Now the only problem with this is I wasn't really thinking entirely, but the plates I built it on the sides are actually dark, or are regular tan, excuse me. I don't know if you can see it well here, maybe you can see in the front, but on the bottom of it's like tan. So unfortunately some areas you can see tan place, which is why I built this. This is just a column of I think these are 1x2x6 or by 5 height garage pieces. So I just like put it as snot and I put it down beside it. This was to minimize the effect of the tan plates going from the bottom of the shield generator. You can see here I did also utilize all those 6x6 tiles on either side to give it a nice look. And of course, once you put the wall and put it in place, it does look nice. It does look like it's really coming together, which is great. I apologize I didn't get a time lapse because this was something I worked on very periodically, like once or twice a day for a couple hours on end. So there was no like official time lapse for the entire section, but I think it's super cool to finally have everything done here on the side. Like this is an entirely 100% complete structure wise for this side of the base, and I think that's really nice moving forward, especially for motivation. But let me swing by and give you guys one last look at this entire area. So giving you one last look at this section again, I know the progress is deceiving. It looks like I probably banged this out in like 20 minutes, but I tell you that was definitely not the case. We got everything done here on this side of the base. All the flooring is done, all like the boring stuff is out of the way, so now we can continue head on with the progress. But I do like it. I'm I'm really happy with how everything came out and turned out. So let me know down below in the comments what you're thinking of the entire area. Now there will still be some smaller details like computers and other stuff like that. But as far as the structure, as far as the flooring goes for this entire side of the base, it is done. And I'm very happy with the progress that we got done this week. And I definitely think it warrants a segment 2 to show you guys. So I'm very happy with it. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of the progress for this week. And let's head on to the outro of today's video. Alright, so guys, that's going to wrap up Building Anaxes in LEGO Week 19. I hope you all enjoyed. Of course, as always, let me know down below in the comments what you're thinking of all the progress so far. Like I said, the progress this week is deceiving. It looks like it wasn't too much done. It looks like it wouldn't take that much time, but there was, like I said earlier, a lot of trial and error and a lot of kind of going through different rough drafts of ideas. But I really do like how it came out. I think it's nice and motivating to have that entire side essentially done, which is super cool because, again, it was annoying doing that stuff. It wasn't necessarily the most fun, but I did actually enjoy myself coming up with cool ways to integrate a lot of the parts that you guys saw, especially like those 1x8 like modified plates, which I really did actually find consistent with the mock. A lot of the parts you guys saw on that side was actually used from the Falcon. If you guys remember earlier back during my Kessel series, I did rebuild the Kessel Falcon, and all the great parts I got from the actual set I did keep for myself, and I wanted to repurpose that into the mock. So it's kind of cool. Some of the parts in the mock are actually from the UCS Falcon, which is pretty sweet. Now, also on a brief side note, the next couple of weeks are going to be, we're going to have updates. I'm not going to delay any updates, but I do want to let you guys know, with Black Friday coming up on a couple other things, I'm not necessarily in the mode to be spending additional money, so I'm going to have to be working with what I have on hand for now. That also does give me a lot of time to finish that medical bay design and also start the mountain and wall design, which I think will take me about a month to do. So we do have a lot of content that we're going to be able to keep pumping out for this series. Just don't expect too much physical progress being done in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I do want to space out the series and have it go towards February when that Clone Wars Season 7 drops. I think it's just better statistically and better to optimize the performance of the finale and all that kind of stuff and expose it to the max I can. So I think that's kind of what the game plan is. Of course, if you guys have any other suggestions or ideas for the mock, let me know down below in the comments. I also will focus on elongating that road. I think it would make sense to have the road go into the base. I think that just sort of makes sense. So I think when the next couple of weeks we're going to work on expanding that pattern alongside the road and also expanding the road itself. That way we can kind of start working on the outside terrain behind the wall. So we have enough stuff to do, continuing to pump out segments. So very excited, and I do honestly like what we got done this week. I think it was super cool, very important, and I think it does look nice and brings the kind of base together. And again, that overhead shot that I keep referring to in the beginning or every like physical build part of the segments, I think it's coming together. Like, there's no denying it. The gunship landing pads are done, the road's kind of done, we got that left side done, and we're making good progress. So, but that's gonna wrap up today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. Once again, guys, drop a like down below and let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Stay tuned. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, I will be releasing a video covering my entire LEGO Star Wars minifigure collection, which I believe the total minifigure count is like 950. Really close to 1,000. It's gonna be a really fun video. I know you guys have been looking forward to it, so make sure you guys subscribe and click that bell icon. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow in the video. Take it easy.